Okay, so let us study the for loop now. The for statement allows to perform a given action several times. The syntax of a for loop is the keyword for followed by a condition, then the statements. A condition is closed when the end keyword is met. Let us look at an example. For I equals 1 to 5, display I, end. This program will simply display the value of I every time it takes a step up. And remember, by default it takes one step up every time. So our output will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let us practice the same example. For I equals 1 to 5, display I, end. As you can see, it has displayed 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, let us now see an application where for loop is used. This is basically a program to calculate sum of numbers from 1 to 10. Over here, we will initialize a variable to 0. This variable will basically contain the sum of our numbers. Now we will take another variable which will act as a counter and specify the range as 1 to 10, which will be used using a for loop. Next, we will calculate the sum of numbers from 1 to 10 using the above two variables, and finally display the sum. Okay, let's see the code. N equals 0. This n is the first variable. Now for I equals 1 to 10, n equals n plus I. So if you do a dry test right now, the value of n is 0. So the current value of n will be 0 equals 0 plus the current value of I will be 1. So n will get the value of 1, and then it will end the for loop and then again enter the for loop. This process will go on till I becomes 10. After that, if we want to display the value of n, we'll type disp n. Now let us practice the same example. N equals 0. For I equals 1 to 10, n equals n plus I, end. Display n. So it has displayed the number 55. Okay, if we have followed this, we'll move a level up. Now we'll combine the for loop with if else condition and make an application. This application will basically be a program to count all the odd and even numbers from 2 to 10. To do this, we will have to initialize two variables, one to store the count of even numbers and the second one to store the count of odd numbers. We will initialize them to 0. Next, we take another variable and specify the range as 2 to 10. We will do this using for loop. After that, we will introduce if else condition to count even and odd numbers using modulo function. A modulo function basically divides two numbers and returns the remainder. After that, we'll simply display the result. Let us look at its code. E equals 0, O equals 0. This E will contain the count of even numbers and O will contain the count of all odd numbers. For n equals 2 to 10, if modulo n comma 2 equals 0, then E equals E plus 1. Now this statement will basically check for a condition. The condition is it will do a modulo division. It will divide the number n by 2, and every time the value for n will increase by 1. It will start from 2, then it will become 3, then 4, 5. Similarly, it will go till 10. Divide the same number by 2. If the remainder comes 0, then it will increase the count of even number by 1, else it will increase the count of odd number by 1. End the if loop and then end the for loop and finally display E. So there are 5 even numbers between 2 to 10, and after we type disp O, it returns 4. It means there are 4 odd numbers between 2 to 10. For n equals 2 to 10, if modulo n comma 2 equals 0, then E equals E plus 1, else O equals O plus 1, and one more and. Okay, the program is complete. Display the value of E, display the value of O. So as you can see, there are 5 even numbers and 4 odd numbers between 2 to 10. Okay, if you have followed this, next we come to a quick assignment. Now you will have to use for loop with the if-else condition. Pause this video, open your Scilab console or environment in your computer. You will have to initialize 2 variables, one as hello and the other one as welcome. Take another variable and specify the range from 1 to 10 using a for loop. You will have to introduce if-else condition such that if a number is less than 5, it will print hello, else it will print welcome, and then finally display the result.